whatever you do with that information is up to you. All I know is that the week imeisha and we're about to go on a very, well, as always, short weekend. Otherwise, I hope you guys are amazing, and kama kawaida, I just want us to get straight into it. Welcome to the Now Report. Sawa sawa. Now, threading a needle and taking exact measurements takes serious precision. Now, imagine doing all of that and running a successful business, tailoring business without sight. Meet the Nairobi artisan proving that true skill goes far beyond vision. Despite being completely blind, this talented tailor is keeping the city looking sharp using a series of clever home-built innovations. By modifying his sewing machine with custom tactile guides and creating his own tactile measuring tools, he measures, cuts and sews stunning custom outfits with zero guesswork. It's a masterclass in ingenuity and resilience, proving that when it comes to style, true vision comes from within.
I have been working since 1990 until 2013 when I was diagnosed with glaucoma. From then, I started a journey of blindness, visually impaired. Since then, I've been working throughout up to date. Before then, I had many customers, but from then, many customers went away, but some of them, few of them, remained with me, supporting me, and they were amazed how I was responding to their needs.
I imagine that sewing can be quite a complicated thing, and now kuna mse anaifanya akiwa aoni. That's actually quite intriguing to me. I think of all the measurements needed, the picking colors, and to see he does that. So I'm impressed. All I can say is that I'm very, very impressed. Now, we all know a good hair day can give you a nice little confidence boost. But for someone battling cancer, a new hairstyle can mean so much more. In Nairobi, a compassionate local salon initiative is doing something truly heartwarming, gifting free, high-quality wigs to cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy. When treatments leads to hair loss, it's rarely just about losing hair. It can feel like losing a piece of your identity and self-esteem. Now, that's where this incredible team steps in. By crafting custom wigs completely free of charge, they're helping patients look in the mirror and feel like themselves again, restoring dignity and hope right when it's needed most. It's a beautiful reminder of how a simple act of community kindness can help people reclaim their strength and their crowns.
What inspired me was a friend of mine called Ann Kananu. She came to the salon and she was diagnosed with cancer and her hair had all fallen off. So I talked to her and I decided to counsel her a bit, and then I gave her a wig, and that's how it all started. Women come to me after losing their hair. They feel they have a reason to live because we remind them how beautiful they are. And you know, cancer is not a death sentence. People actually survive it and they come out even stronger. And I can say it gives them a hope in life. And about 800 women so far. And I've lost the number, let me say about 300. And I'm looking forward to giving more women and going to different counties and supporting, because so many women need this wig, so I need to start going to different counties.
Now, honestly speaking, as crazy and unpredictable life can be, and of course all the negative things happening in the world, it's things like this that actually give me a bit of hope in humanity. So it shows that people still care out there. People still look at people, and actually there is good in people. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Now, tukiendelea, if you thought the weather's been playing games lately, brace yourself. Mother Nature might be getting ready to pull out her biggest plot twist yet. At a summit in Addis Ababa, the African Union just dropped a pretty wild forecast. The upcoming El Nino event could actually end up being the strongest one we've seen since 1950. AU Agriculture Commissioner Moses Vilakati laid it out plainly. By late 2026 or early 2027, we could be looking at a full-on weather roller coaster, complete with severe droughts, scorching heat waves, and sudden floods across the continent. We all remember the last round where 6 Southern African nations had to declare national disasters just to cope. So this time round, the AU's message to leaders is pretty simple. Let's put down the thick report binders and actually fund those early warning systems and get ready before the skies decide to go rogue. And yes, in fact, hapa Kenya, we've heard so much about El Nino. Mara kadhaa zimekwambia zinakuja and then the rain comes and goes. But then what I found really interesting is when this ends up happening and then yani inakuja, unaambia El Nino inakuja, alafu a small rain comes in and people just brush it off and then the actual rain falls in. Anyway, guys, this time let's prepare ourselves, the whole of Africa, South Africa. Let's just be tukue ready. El Nino is, I think the power of water has become very evident, especially in the last few years in our country. Imekuwa mbaya sana. We've seen videos online ya manyumba za wasee zimejaa maji. You look at someone's houses after flooding, the water is, you can see where the water was. Hadi viti zote ziko chini ya maji. So maybe this time let's be a bit more prepared. Tukiendelea, South Africa is drawing a hard line in the sand after facing growing international pushback over its nationwide crackdown on undocumented migration. Following petitions sent to the International Criminal Court and calls for the African Union to step in over recent anti-foreigner protests, officials in Pretoria are making their stance crystal clear. Enforcing border control is a sovereign right, period, and the government firmly shut down ideas of ICC intervention, insisting that South Africa's own courts are more than equipped to deal with any violence or hate speech. They also shut down rumors that the country is being isolated diplomatically across the continent, emphasizing that the situation on the ground is calmed down and has calmed down and the trained law enforcement, not vigilante groups, is running border operations.
We also briefed them about the current situation in migration in South Africa, that now the situation has stabilized, there has been isolated incidents, and that there is now a process that the IMC is undertaking to ensure that irregular migration is addressed. Like any other country, they all agree that South Africa, like any other country, has a sovereign right to enforce its own immigration laws. The issue they all raise, as I always say, is the violence, sometimes the isolated incidents that do happen. And we also briefed them that our law enforcement agency is on top of the situation. They've already arrested about 82 people countrywide in relation to them taking the law into their own hands, including offenses of looting, of vandalism of property, and so forth, which shows the firm hand that the South African government has put in this matter.
I think the only thing I can say to that specific story is that tupendane, guys, yeah? We are one continent, one people. Tupendane. So, now, most of us have had an old drawer full of tangled cables and dead gadgets that we'll never use again. But one Nigerian artist is taking that exact electronic trash and turning it into something, what's the word, downright incredible. By collecting discarded circuit boards, old keyboards, and broken motherboards from local dump sites, this creative mind is turning e-waste into striking larger-than-life portraits. Instead of letting toxic electronics rot in landfills, they are being reassembled into stunning pieces of fine art. It's the ultimate mashup of sustainability and storytelling, proving that with enough imagination, even yesterday's tech trash can become today's masterpiece.
When I began to see beauty in discarded materials, in waste, in obsolete materials, in things that we feel like they don't have life again. So I began to create artworks with electronic wires and discarded cables. I want people to see my work not just as something beautiful. I want people to see emotion. I want people to see power. I want people to see resilience. I want people to see that there can be life after death. E-waste has become an issue to our immediate environment and to Nigeria at large, because for a fact, I can say that I pick all the wires in my collection around. People give me wires, I pick up from the ground. And most importantly, there is no day that I'm going to step out that I'm not going to pick electronic wires and cables. I began to see beauty in discarded materials, in waste, in obsolete materials, in things that we feel like they don't have life again. So I began to create artworks with electronic wires and discarded cables. I realized that a lot of people are connected with my art. People both in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, locally and internationally. They are resonating and connecting with my art more. They understand the importance of making use of electronic wires and discarded cables to create artworks. They understand the importance of waste to wealth narration that I'm passing through.
I think I've probably said this before, but I'm a big supporter and a big supporter of art in whichever form it comes in. Like, look at this. What form of creativity is that? Oh, kuna mawaya zimeja kwa nyumba, but someone looks at it and sees art. That's crazy. That's out of, it's not for everyone, yes? Not everyone can do that. Now, tukisonga from one creative to another, independent animators and visual storytellers in Nigeria are pioneering a vibrant stop-motion animation movement, building West Africa's tactile filmmaking industry frame by frame. Operating out of compact home studios and improvised workspaces in Lagos, creators like award-winning filmmaker Adioye Adetunji are combining Yoruba mythology, folklore, and contemporary social themes with meticulously handcrafted puppets and miniature environments. Unlike mainstream Nollywood, live action production or traditional 2D, 3D digital animation, stop motion requires extreme patience, with artists adjusting wire amateurs, facial expressions, and mini props by fractions of millimeters across tens of thousands of individual photographs, garnering international film festival recognition and critical acclaim, including groundbreaking Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Award wins. These African animators demonstrate that handmade tactile storytelling can challenge global animation paradigms while proving that world-class cinematic universes can be built locally from scratch.
It was never intentional to do stop motion because I didn't even know what it was. I had done documentaries and then 3D animation. I enjoyed the fact that I could model characters, model worlds, and bring them to life digitally. I've developed Africa's first ball and socket stop motion amateurs. So we created this to be able to bring stop motion infrastructure, make it available in Africa at a very good price point. Even in other parts, more countries that are not third world, the animation always takes more. So in this part that we don't even usually have things like funding, government support, and stuff like that, it's challenging. It's challenging for everyone.
The role is to manage and deliver high quality silver soldered parts for us to do great amateurs. These parts includes stainless steel rods and balls, which make up the joints, the blue segments for the joints. We have our universal joints, which are also soldered. We have the chest, the hip, the feet, enable care and S, and many more.
Well, I've always wondered how stop motion works, stop motion animation, because I don't know where people get that level of patience from. But as ukionanga final result is always really, really beautiful. Anyway, guys, that is all from me today. That was another report on TV47. Next, the TV47 at 1, and I've not said this in a while. Bye. Beauty Kamau. Yeah. You take care. Have a lovely day. And nimesemaje, guys, ni Friday. Do with that information what you will. Sawa sawa.